Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. What if you didn't need to take your required minimum distribution? Or what if you just didn't want to take it? Can you take those funds and transfer them directly into a Roth IRA? It's a question many retirees face as they try to navigate the rules and the strategies of preserving their wealth. Let's break down whether that's even possible, what your options are, and how to make the most of your retirement savings. According to a recent analysis from JPMorgan Chase, 80% of retirees below RMD age haven't touched their traditional accounts, and 84% of retirees at RMD age or above only take the absolute minimum. This is something I went over in detail in another video, so if you're interested in checking it out, I will link it above and down below. But the key takeaway here is that for many retirees, when they've utilized traditional or Roth accounts, many have more than enough saved for retirement. I think we can all agree that this is a good problem to have. Having more than enough saved for retirement is a good position to be in. But it still comes with its own challenges. Traditional 401ks and IRAs are subject to RMDs, and they're based on age. The starting age for RMDs has gradually been increasing from its initial point of 70.5 to age 75, and it depends on your year of birth. Essentially, your RMD is the distribution you have to take out according to IRS rules. The amount you're required to take out is based on life expectancy factors based on IRS actuarial tables. And this is a key point about Roth accounts. They don't have RMDs, so you aren't required to make a withdrawal during your lifetime. You can easily find an RMD table online. I will link one down below in the description if you are interested. And to use it, you simply divide your previous year's December 31st balance by this year's distribution factor. So if we had an individual who was 75 years old and on December 31st of last year, their traditional 401k balance was $700,000, they would divide that number by 26.4. Their required minimum distribution, or RMD, for that year would then be roughly $26,515. So that's easy enough. But what if you're in a position where you don't actually need this money? What if you don't want to make this withdrawal? What should you do? Well, broadly speaking, in most circumstances, you do have to take your RMD, but there are some situations in which you may be able to get around it, and failing to take your RMD can result in a penalty of up to 25% on the amount you should have withdrawn. That's actually down from a 50% penalty thanks to the Secure 2.0 Act. And assuming you correct this in a timely fashion, that penalty could be reduced to 10%. One option is to convert all or a portion of your IRA to a Roth IRA. This process can absolutely be done over a period of several years, and keep in mind that the amounts you convert, you owe ordinary income tax on those amounts in the year in which the conversion happens. And this is something you want to pay attention to, because if you convert too much in any given year, you can push yourself into a higher tax bracket, and most people try to avoid that during this conversion process. A common strategy is to convert the amount only up to the very tippy top of your tax bracket to avoid any unnecessary tax hikes. The benefit here is that this money gets to then stay invested and grow tax-free. It's exempt from future RMDs, and once you pass on, if you pass this account to your heirs, they get to inherit it completely tax-free, although the funds do have to be taken out of the account within 10 years. If possible, try to start this conversion process earlier on in your career, if your income allows for it, without pushing you into a higher tax bracket. This can really help with your retirement planning process because it can help you mitigate or maybe completely altogether avoid future RMDs. Each Roth conversion has its own 5-year clock, meaning the converted funds must stay in the account for at least 5 years or until you're 59.5 to avoid penalties on the withdrawals. If you are under the age of 59.5 and attempt to withdraw funds prior to that 5-year criteria being met, the IRS will levy a 10% penalty on the amount withdrawn. If you're older than the age of 59.5, that 10% penalty does not apply, but the IRS will look at earnings as taxable. So if you take them out prior to this 5-year rule being met, you would owe taxes on the earnings. So a good general rule of thumb is that once you make a Roth conversion, generally speaking, don't touch those funds to avoid penalties or taxes until those 5 years have passed. You cannot directly convert the amount required for an RMD into a Roth IRA. The IRS requires that your RMD be taken out of your account and treated as a taxable distribution. So if you are of RMD age, once you've taken your required minimum distribution, you are welcome to convert any funds beyond that from your traditional IRA to your Roth IRA if you so choose. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from taking your RMD and investing it. You just can't go directly to a Roth account. You could take your distribution and invest it in, say, low-cost index funds, which have incredibly low turnover and low expenses and are still a tax-efficient way to invest. Taking your RMD doesn't mean you have to spend it. You can make a charitable contribution via a qualified charitable distribution, a QCD, where you can direct up to $100,000 per year per individual of your IRA's RMD directly to a qualified charity. The amount directly sent to the charity satisfies your RMD but is not counted as taxable income. This is a great way to avoid paying taxes on the RMD amount that is donated and also funnel money to a cause that you care about. Also, you have the added perk of this reduce your adjusted gross income, and that can reduce your Medicare premiums, and it could reduce the amount of Social Security income that is subject to tax. For instance, if your RMD is $20,000, donating it to a qualified charity eliminates taxes on that amount and reduces your taxable income. In order for this approach to work, there are a couple requirements that must be met. The donation must go directly from the IRA custodian, aka the brokerage house, directly to the charity. If you first take the distribution, it's looked at as income and it is taxable. Also, the charity must be recognized by the IRS as a 501c3 organization. One way to get around taking an RMD is to simply keep working. RMDs are not required from a 401k with your current employer if you're still working and don't own more than 5% of the company. As an added bonus, if you plan ahead, you can roll any older 401ks with previous employers into your current employer's 401k plan, and that way you can delay taking RMDs on those funds as well, so long as they're consolidated with your current employer's plan. If you don't do this, those funds would be subject to RMDs on a regular schedule. Now, I know that this option isn't for everyone, as it does require that you continue working well into your 70s. Some people want to retire as early as possible. Other people find enjoyment and fulfillment in their work and want to continue working later in life. So if you fall into that latter group, this can allow you to delay taking your RMDs, and it can allow you to keep your money invested and growing longer. My dad retired in his early 70s and immediately regretted it. He loved working. My mom is in her early 70s and I cannot get her to retire. Everyone has a different goal of what they want to do, but for those who wish to continue working, this can be a great way to avoid taking that RMD. This approach can be beneficial as it allows you to avoid taking an RMD during potentially higher income earning years. It allows your money to stay invested and growing untouched for longer. And if you use the approach of consolidating your 401ks with your current employer, this simplifies your finances and gives you less accounts to work with. There are some things to be aware of. When you do eventually decide to retire, regularly scheduled RMDs begin the year you retire or by April 1st of the following year. And it's worth being aware of your current employer's 401k plan. As not all 401k plans allow for rollovers, you want to understand the fees that you're being charged and make sure that the investment options align with your goals. However, like I said, for those who wish to continue working in their later years, this can be a wonderful option that does allow you to delay or avoid taking that RMD and allows your money to continue growing. You have options to make the most of your RMDs, whether that is through a Roth conversion, through reinvestment, or through charitable contributions. Retirement planning is about more than just the rules. It's about making a plan that fits your goals and your lifestyle. Have you considered any of these strategies? Leave your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. That's exactly what the benefit is right there. If you can do it. I can't, but you might be able to. We're not sure if we're gonna make it through this one. I'm trying. Normal person happy level. I'm going to die right here. This is the sentence that will kill me. This is it. I feel like there's a little bit of drama in that statement. 5. Who's making a withdrawal at 5 years old? That is good enough because, oh my God. RMD, that's not a thing. and also possibly, I have no idea. I just want to listen to music. Can I not work?